Hey everyone, happy Monday. It is Monday, April the 22nd, and I am Allison, one half of Soulstar Energy Collective, here to deliver some messages for your week ahead. I will be using the Oracle card deck, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. There. Don't mind if you can hear my bird chirping and maybe my kids yelling. Who knows? I just hear all the noise happening over there. All right, so I'm going to be picking 3 cards. So, you just kind of take a moment to take a deep breath and just receive whatever card is calling you. So you may, hear it, you may just know, maybe all of the cards are calling you or 2 of the cards. Anything goes here. And, you can ask a question or you can just, be open to receive whatever message kind of comes on through for you. All right, so let's get started. So card 1. All right. So the horned cactus, resourcefulness. Okay, let's feel into this. Okay. All right. So I feel like there's 2 messages coming through. Okay. So I feel like one of the messages is, it kind of feels like maybe you are feeling tight financially or just kind of maybe pulled. I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's like you're feeling stretched, and whether that's financially or time-wise or whatever it is, it just kind of feels like it's like ooh, and it's causing stress and dis-ease and just anxiety within your mind, within your body, and just trying to move through it. And so um what they're making me feel like is like that you've been here before, you've felt this before, this might be like a pattern that you kind of go through, and that what it's linked to is a limiting belief. It's linked to a story that you tell yourself. So whether that story is a story of being in lack, always or sometimes or whatever it is, that this story keeps kind of like, it's like you identify with it, even though you don't want to. Subconsciously, it feels like you identify with it. And what happens with that is that it will keep showing up and being presented until you are able to, change that story, change those limiting beliefs, and to, realize that maybe this is, you don't need to live in this type of way. You don't need to live in lack, or perceived lack, and or even just lack of time, lack of money, lack of resources, whatever it is. That it really is a mind shift switch, and a change in perspective. So that is kind of what you're being called to if you're going through that right now, or go through it this week. It's taking this opportunity to kind of reflect on it and understand, like, oh man, actually this does happen all the time. Why the heck does this happen all the time? When there's patterns, there is a reason that they keep happening, and it is in our power to be able to shift that and change that. Okay, and so that was like the first message I got. The other one, I just I don't know if it's for the same person, or maybe this message is going to resonate more than the other one. It just kind of felt like I felt like this energy of guardedness, like just feeling like, the putting up like your guard, that this is an automatic kind of like protection that you do for yourself, and it kind of feels like it's gone up. Something has triggered it to go up, and you kind of like then start to move and exist with this like prickliness to you. It's so kind of like, like I'm just trying to think like, somebody does you wrong, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, my bitch face is on, my guard is up, and maybe your true nature isn't coming out or who you truly are, but because there was this feeling of feeling hurt or feeling less than, or, threatening your sense of self, it's like then this guard goes up automatically, and you can become spiky or whatever it is to the outside world or that person, to protect yourself. So it's a protected mechanism. And again, this kind of just feels like maybe a pattern, and to, recognize like when it's happening, because it's so automatic, recognizing when it's happening and maybe sitting with that to understand, okay, like, ooh, okay, what made me put up my guard, what made me put up my spikes, whatever it is, and understanding that's tied to something completely different than the situation. It's tied to healing a shadow within you that is wanting to be looked at. All right. Okay. Well, if every reading is going to be like this, I'm going to go past the 15-minute mark that Instagram allows. All right. Card 2. There it is. Straddling worlds, wandering between realms. It's such a pretty card. It's so pretty. Okay, let's see. So it definitely feels like the in-between again. I think it's just like such a theme for people right now, but it definitely feels like this, again, I feel this in-between transition energy kind of happening. And obviously these transitions don't change overnight. It doesn't, you have to move through it for a while. And oh yeah, now Spirit's just bringing in something I saw on Instagram, a video I saw, and I was like, phew, so perfect. I get to share it. So it's talking about when we are in this transition, this in-between phase. And the analogy was like looking at a caterpillar that is cocooned and transforming from a caterpillar into a butterfly. And this kind of sounds gross, but if you were to, open up that sac as it's transitioning, you are, I guess, like, I don't even know if this is real, but this was the analogy. So now I'm going to Google it afterwards. But you would open it up to like just a mush of DNA, because it wasn't like it's going to be like partly caterpillar, partly butterfly. It was just kind of this mush as it's kind of like changing and messy. And what it kind of showed was like, when you're in the in-between phase, it is bound to be messy. It is bound to feel uncomfortable. It is bound to kind of be just like a mix mash of everything as you kind of process and move through it. And that's okay. I think coming to the realization and acceptance that that's okay, instead of I need to fix this, I need to do something, like, oh, I'm so sick of this. It's just allowing it to be fine, that you're not there, you're not anywhere. What's wrong with me? but like, just, and like sometimes you're over here and sometimes you're over here, and that's totally okay as you start to understand and maneuver your way through to kind of know where you're going to be. So I think, again, just a little reminder, to whoever's going in between, that in between phase, that it's okay to be messy, it's okay to feel uncomfortable, and that it is definitely part of the process, and to really kind of just lean into it and try to take this time to fully understand yourself, and fully understand, you know, what you want and what you don't want moving forward. And, look at doing some cord cutting, look at doing some meditations of like, releasing your past self, releasing an old version of yourself. There's so many things that you can do to help yourself through this, and be able to understand yourself a lot more. So, all right, card 3. And I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but my son is screaming out of joy. It's just out of joy. They're playing. Okay, card 3. Ooh, come on. There we go. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. Okay. Why do I feel that one? Must be for me too. Oh, my hair. Okay. So this also feels connected to maybe like a death and rebirth, a transition. And it kind of feels like you are maybe like more on the kind of like moving out of this, in between, moving out of this phase, kind of starting to, step into the new you. And usually when we go through an in-between, there's something that, either we are healing from, or maybe something happened within our life that we had to, because sometimes, usually it's like something disrupts it. So whether that's like a breakup, an end of a marriage, an end of a job, an end of a friendship, something that is shifting within you. And sometimes what comes with that is that forgiveness part. And so, when you can kind of, because we kind of go through these stages of grief when we are losing something. And, and with grief, part of that can be anger, resentment, sadness. And, when you kind of get to that forgiving stage, it's kind of like you've moved through what you've needed to move through, and you're in a place that you're able to forgive. And that forgiveness is like that release to be able to then move on. And what I love about this is like even just seeing the butterfly, just from that other analogy that I just gave, of the butterfly, like that the butterfly is on the other side. That transition has happened, that metamorphosis. Why do I always get that one wrong? I think I did it right. Has already happened and is kind of set free. So it just really kind of feels like you are at these final stages of this in between, and that you are kind of like, sewing up, healing, closing off whatever needs to be healed, closed off, to be able to then leave it behind and move forward. Just a key note, it doesn't mean that you're never going to think of this person, this situation, this thing, or it's never that you're ever going to have pings. That those things always kind of like are there, and can like show up randomly. But it just, like, when you kind of move on to the new, it's just kind of like you're stepping into that new version of yourself, that healed version of yourself, and that is so exciting. So, just trust that you are doing everything that you need to do. Trust that, it does feel like it's almost here, that you almost are stepping into that new version, and like, good on you. Good on you. All right. I hope you have a great week. Bye.